Hello darlings, welcome back to the Gaming Pantry. This is the Retro Bear with a rather posh accent. I was Australian in the last video, and now I'm doing posh accents. Welcoming you back to the Gaming Pantry, and hope you're all rather spiffy. Yes. Hope you're all well. Good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, or wherever you are. Nice to have you back. I'm just taking a well-deserved sip of juice. No, I say coffee. Good. It's gone cold. Anyway, thanks for coming back, and this is the aforementioned promised video of some actual pick-up stuff relating to games. There wasn't an awful lot in the last video, was there? But now this is just a sum total of stuff that's been given to me from donations from people who went to Blackpool. I've got some birthday gifts here from the start of the week, and I've also got a trade I've done with a good friend of mine as well, which I need to sort out a price. So we haven't sorted the price out yet, but we've done a trade anyway. So I say deal, that's not a trade. I bought some stuff off him, haven't I? I don't usually, yeah. Anyway. I'm sure it's just coffee in here, isn't it? So we're going to go straight off this video. Anyway, hope you're well. And good to see you back here. Right, so let's crack on then, because that's what you're here for. You're not here to listen to me talk. Aren't you? I don't know. Yeah, so a few weeks ago, my good friend RetroKit, John, got in contact with me, and he was sort of looking to move some stuff on from his collection. A lot of people doing that at the moment, aren't they? A lot of people moving stuff on. I know a couple of people are moving stuff on because they've got things that they want to do and use the money towards that, and I'm guessing some people are just selling up because they'd rather have the money at the moment. Who wouldn't? You know, this is one of those. It's like, is there going to be a future for pickups videos? Are pickups videos now going to become a thing of the past? Possibly. I don't know. We'll have to see, won't we? So John was clearing some stuff out anyway, and he said, "Would you be interested in any of these?" And I said, "Well, I haven't got most of the offerings. I've got most of those, but I would be interested in these, definitely." And what they are, they're Amiga games. Now, we don't see many Amiga games on this channel, do we? Very, very rarely. Maybe once a year if we're lucky. So John very kindly, we haven't sorted the price on this. We will sort this out, John, don't worry, when I see you next. I think we're planning on meeting up in November to do a trip somewhere, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that's still on, because I haven't heard from you for a bit about that, but hopefully we're still on to do that, and I'll obviously sort you out by that point, if not before. I said, I love these. One is a game going back, which is so important to me. One I've never played before, but I thought, well, it looks all right. And another one purely for research purposes, which is great. So the one that I was desperately, which I as soon as I saw it, I thought, I've got to have that, even though it's showing its age, but that's what I love about it. It's the very first game I played my Amiga when I had it back then. Very first game. Those of you who know the story, have heard my story before, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not the one I had though, but it is a Hit Squad. Yeah, and I'm not collecting Hit Squads for the Amiga. No, I'm not even collecting Hit Squads for the 8-bit stuff that people seem to think I am. So I've got first of all, Batman the movie. Now this is part of the Batman pack I had on the Amiga, and when John showed that, I was like, I've got to have that. I mean, yeah, it's worn, it's battered, but I tell you something, it's fine. It's fine. I'm happy with that. Very good of John to offer this to me. I'm not sure if the original version came on 2 discs or 1. If somebody could maybe enlighten me, I'm pretty sure it did. Anyway, the Hit Squad version comes on just the 1 disc. I'm pretty sure it was 2 discs, wasn't it? I'm sure it was. Got the manual with it, which is lovely, nice Batman logo there as well. Always nice to see. And the great thing about it is we got the receipt in here as well. Wow. So from the 3rd of February 1992 from the Software Centre. There we go. $7.99 paid. How about that, eh? We do like that. We used to call them Brucey bonuses when we first started doing these years and years ago. We do love a Brucey bonus, and there's another Brucey bonus in here as well, because there's also game tips inside. Now, this is interesting. I've not seen this before. I've just found this, actually. I've opened this box 3 or 4 times. It's the first time I've seen this. It says, game tips inside, open in case of emergency. With a Hit Squad. Now, it actually hasn't, unless John's re-lit this afterwards and opened it up, mate. It's actually unsealed. An unsealed envelope. I'm not sure. I'm guessing that's probably likely to be a phone number, possibly, to ring and get some cheats with. But how about that, eh? I've never seen one of them before. There we go. But like I said, that was a game I played on my Amiga. The first one I played on my Amiga. I finished it loads of times. I used to love that game back in the day. So I'm very happy to have that one, because I don't think amongst all the backups I've got, I have a copy of Batman, which is really, really strange. But if I have, I've replaced it with that. Second game that John offered me, which I'd never played before. I've never even played the much more recognisable Mega Drive version, but I wanted it because, again, it's got a box. Again, the box is obviously a little bit squished because it's just as it is after all these years. So get me an iron out, Stu, and I'll have a go at that. There's got quite a few boxes to iron, and this is eSWAT. Again, my guests on the TMB last week have seen these already, so this might be something you may have seen. Pete and Joe and Martin and who else turned up? Me, Joe, Martin and somebody else. Anyway, so there we go. Al, yes, big game Al. I think big game Al. So eSWAT. So I've never played this from my memory. I don't think I have. I don't actually own a copy of it either. I had a quick scan through my Mega Drive shelf. I don't think I've even got it on the Master System. So yeah, but anyway, so this is the Amiga game as well. This is one of the Sega arcade hitboxes. I've got one up there which you can't see. Well, you may actually be able to see if I just point at it. Line of Fire, which is that the sort of Sega designed orange box. It's really eye-catching, even though it's got the word US Gold on the front, which is never a good sign. So this is the original release. So we've got 2 discs for it, 2 3.5-inch floppies. Lovely. We've also got a US Gold booklet which details all the games that were coming out. We've got Strider 2, UN Squadron. Well, we've got eSWAT. Yeah, obviously I've got that, guys. I can read off there. Operation Harrier, Sega Master Mix compilation, which is the compilation I'm looking for at the moment. Vaccine Platinum compilation. Sports Fight. So lots of little games in there. You can see there's a copy. That's the Platinum compilation I just mentioned there. So it opens out in a concertina fashion. What else we got here? There's the instructions for it. So nicely done. And then fantastically as well, we've also got in here an Amiga Action. Again, I didn't see this when I opened it up. There we go. A little Amiga Action magazine as well. How about that? I didn't even know that was there. I don't need my eyes looking at it. I didn't think it was that bad. I'm actually missing giant plastic bags full of stuff. Let's have a look at this, shall we? Because this is going to be quite fascinating. I'm not even sure what year this is from. I'm guessing probably 1991. I'm just trying to see. It's got a year on it. No, it hasn't. Well, yes, it's got some reviews and things in there, contents, features and reviews. So it's reviewing Loom, Lotus Esprit, Mean Streets, which I had, UN Squadron, and Toyota Rally. And then BSS Jane Seymour, which was a Gremlin game. There's all sorts of things in here. So that's a little Amiga magazine. How fantastic is that? An advert for Toyota Celica on the back, which is the game I always wanted. I don't think I actually got around to having. And I've now got an ST backup version of it. I was playing that when I bought my ST. 2020 or whenever I bought it, or 2021 maybe. But yeah, so that was great. So fantastic to have that in there as well. I didn't realise that. So that's eSWAT and Batman. And then the third game John offered me, and like I said, purely for research purposes, I thought, well, I'll grab that as well, because if you only take it, sell it to somebody else will give it, or what, I won't give it away with selling them. So I sell it to somebody else. I thought, well, if I don't get this, somebody else will. So this is Strip Poker 2 and the data disc. The Top Shots label. 4 gorgeous girls to give you an evening to remember. Oh yeah. Yeah. We've talked about very, very briefly. I think I showed a copy of Sam Fox's Strip Poker off probably about 18 months ago. I think it was the Spectrum or the Amstrad version, I can't remember, which obviously wouldn't be very good. Obviously not going to be an awful lot better on the Amiga, you're not going to get an awful lot out of this. But it does actually come with 2 discs, which is really quite fantastic. So you've actually got there we go, so Strip Poker 2 Plus and the data disc, and then you've also got the bumper pack as well. So you have to load that one in first and then load this one afterwards. It's by Anko. Anko were more famous for Kickoff and Kickoff 2, one of my favourite football games. So here's hoping for an accurate representation of strip poker. Of course, this is the days before you got classifications on there or anything like that. So I'm not going to hold out too much hope for much nudity in that one. I don't know. Anyway, so John will sort the price out on those, mate. Don't worry about it. But thank you very much indeed for those. Great to have those, especially Batman. Really going to enjoy playing that when my Amiga is safe to play on again for a long period of time. So, section 2, let's talk about Blackpool, because I didn't go. So I'm not going to talk much about Blackpool. But before Blackpool was on, I had a message from the dean of the UK retro gaming scene, as far as I'm concerned, Tutti UK, who messaged me to say, because Dana had given me, Dana at Hidden Chess Gaming gave me a load of loose tapes a couple of videos ago, and Stu very kindly got in contact, said, oh, I've got some loose tapes for you, I'll give them to Dana at Blackpool, which he did, which I've got to show you here. And also a gift as well from the UK video game pirate, who caused quite a stir, from what I understand, up at Blackpool. Loads of people just talked about how fun it was to meet him and spend time with him. Now you've had COVID recently, mate. Hope you're all better after that. Anyway, and you did mention a while back, if I was going to Blackpool, you're going to bring me someone as well. Well, unfortunately I didn't make it, but you did actually manage to pass it on to Dana, and he's passed it on to me. So let's show you that off first. And this is fantastic. This is a gift for my Wii collection from UK Video Game Pirate. I can't believe how generous he's been with this, but this is fantastic, and it's one I don't actually have. And this is the Super Mario Brothers All Stars 25th Anniversary edition. That's fantastic. So Super Mario All Stars came out on the Super Nintendo. You can buy it with a packing game. I think it came out individually afterwards. I know I've got a copy of it somewhere. And this was the 25th anniversary, basically redo over in a nice box. That's all it is. There's nothing actually different about it, other than the fact it's on the Wii, which is very, very strange. But it's also quite difficult to find in a complete condition, because you do find occasionally you'll just find that on its own, which is the game, or you'll find the box without something else. So I mean, this is it looks like it's hardly been touched. It's got the manual, it's got the disc, it's also got the Nintendo Club points on there as well, which are unscratched. Disc is absolutely immaculate. So, such a nice condition, it really is. So generous of you, Ryan. Thank you so much indeed, my friend. And then this is the one it doesn't come with, which is quite a lot, which is the soundtrack. And also there's a booklet in here as well. So you've got the Super Mario History Retrospective Soundtrack CD and booklet. So what a fantastic gift that is, and I won't be able to get it on my shelf, unfortunately, because it's just too big. So it's going to have to go into the gaming cupboards, I'm afraid, which is a shame. So I'd like it on display. I might be able to stick it on top of that shelf. I've moved stuff around there with my other collector's sets. I might be able to stick it up there. But Ryan, this is beyond generous, my friend. Thank you so much indeed for passing this through to donate to me. It's fantastic. That's so good of you. Thank you. Goes to show some fantastic people like that. I've never met Ryan. I've never met him. I know obviously a few people. I've met him before Blackpool. Obviously Blackpool now, but it's just brilliant. And then Stu gave me a bag of tapes. Oh, we love a loose tape on this channel. I know people are not tapes again. Yes, it's tapes again. Of course it is. I'm just going to drag these out the bag and just go through them. So what we got first of all? That wasn't in there. Altered Beast? No, okay. Anyway, right. So first up, we've got a Zap Mega Tape number 8, and this has got the Galaxy Birds and Felix. Now, interesting. Galaxy Birds is a Sensible Software game, and there are 4 games on this one, and then Felix is by Elite. I don't know those. Anyway, interesting. Although it says on there says that side and this side. Because Zap were down with the kids, weren't they, back then? So I'm not sure if I've got that one. I've got masses of cover tapes. I've probably got all the cover tapes ever made, I'm hoping, anyway. This one's I guess, I mentioned about the condition of the sort of stuff that Dana provided, and I said the condition isn't really a problem as long as I can get them to work. Although I'm not sure about this one because this one has been well sellotaped. It may have actually been copied over. This is Oh Mummy for the Amstrad, but as you can see there, as I mentioned when I showed the loose tapes off last time, people put sellotape over there to stop, so you can record stuff on it. So there might be something else on there. Again, it's like the joy of finding out. I'm just trying to do these videos where I'm just like loading up random tapes. So I think Christian already does that, doesn't he? Real Generic Demon already does that with that brilliant series What's on the Tape. So anyway, there we go. We've got more Amstrad. Most of these are Amstrad, which is great because I haven't got many, well, not that many Amstrad games. This is, I think it's part of a bigger compilation. It might be part of the 4 soccer simulators set. It's from Codemasters. So we've got 11-a-side soccer, and on the reverse we've got indoor soccer. I'm pretty sure there was 5-a-side soccer and street soccer as part of that set as well. But yes, that's good. Now what have we got here? Yeah, we've got a copy. This is one of the granddaddy of all football games, near enough. Match Day, this is the original one. It's a hit squad. Yeah, we've got hit squads in here as well. Yeah, hit squad, loose hit squads on the old Amstrad there. Not sure if I've got that on hit squad, probably not. Another Amsoft game. Again, I don't think I've got this one. So I'm always happy to receive things that I'm not sure I've got. This one's Roland in the Caves, which I'm sure Rachel will know an awful lot about. Our mate 8-bit Rach. Queen of the Amstrad. Now this one I was absolutely I'm excited because I thought, oh, this is going to be good, because although I've got this, I put it on a couple of the systems, I haven't got it on the Amstrad. This is the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. This is the conversion of the NES game. I nearly got excited. I thought it's a coin op again, but it's not. So this is the version of the NES game. I may have trouble loading that. I'm hoping the manual is going to be exactly the same because the manual comes with a security protection. So I'll have to look a bit further into that one. But yeah, great to have that. Turtles, yeah, fantastic. Not sure how good this game is going to be. We'll have to wait and see. It is quite a late release though, from Game Busters 1990, and this is Penalty Soccer. Which doesn't tell you an awful lot about what's going to be in there. We shall have to see, shan't we? Now, if this is what I think it is, this may be, I don't know. This is oh, Sean, you might be interested in this. It's on the React label, which appears to be related to alternative software. Sean at Retro Game Divide, if you're watching. And this is Tarzan. And I'm just wondering if it's that version I played on Commodore Corner last year, which is an absolutely terrible game. Anyway, I'm not sure. I'll have to fire that one up. But that's React software, which is an offshoot of Alternative. I'm sure likes that one. Very common game, this one. If you like your fruit machines, this is Super Nudge 2000, which I think I've probably already got on the 64, because I've just gone through my Mastertronic stuff. There we go. But I may not have got the Amstrad version. This is interesting. I played this on the Amiga and I thought it was a fairly functionally average football game, but I kept playing it over and over again because it's quite easy to do. And a friend of mine had it on the Commodore 64. We used to have a bit of fun on it as well. So I'm quite happy to have this one. And this is the winner's edition of Italy 90. There we go, Italy 90. I'm desperately trying to get this finished before the sun moves around. So if the sun moves around, we're going to be in trouble. We've got 3 to go in here. Another Amsoft game. I'm finally glad to have this one. Can you believe it? This game is the bane of any Amstrad collector. It's the one that they want the most. In some cases, people have 10, 15 copies of it. It's that good. It's animal, vegetable, mineral. I can't believe there's actually that much tape in that game for that game to work. Go and look it up. That's all I'm going to say. Or wait for the playthrough video. 2 to go. This one is a double side. It's actually got 3 games on this one. One's called 1, 2, 3 from the Silverbird range. So again, Sean, if you are watching, this might be of interest to you. So on this side we've got Ninja Master and BMX Kids, and on the other side we've got Rock and Wrestle. There we go. So 3 games for the price of 1. And then finally, I think probably the best game in here, to be fair. And it's a massive tape, so this is going to be a multi-load, which is really going to drive him. But it's the Kicks re-release, but not to worry, because I don't mate, it doesn't make a difference whether it's the full price release, the kicks release. I'll still pick them up. And this is, or have them if people want to give them to me, as Stu's done. And this is Turbo Outrun. Wow. There we go. So look at the size of that tape in there. It's massive. That's a multi-load. That means you have to load in each level or parts of the game as you go along, and then when you die or the game, or you run out of time. Not you don't die in Outrun, do you? When you run out of time, that'd be interesting. Killer Outrun. When you run out of time, you then have to rewind the tape and back to where a certain point, you have to load it back in again. Yeah, crazy stuff. Anyway, Stuart, thank you very much indeed for those. That's really appreciated, mate. I will look after those, as always, as with anything that anybody has ever sent me. Goes straight into the collection. It's looked after. It's not resold. It's not moved on. It's kept here and done. If I have doubles for things already and you sent me something, I will move that double onto somebody else, as I've got quite a few out there at the moment. So, thank you very much indeed. I'll look after them. Let's put into those. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then finally, for this bumper stuff collection of old tat. I say old tat, that's wrong to say. Yes, birthday presents. Oh God, 10 years I think now. It was my birthday just recently. I don't like to talk about it because obviously when you get to my age, it tends to be another day really. And it's one of the things I've noticed in recent years. You know, you get towards your birthday, you start thinking about it and get a little bit excited and think, oh yeah. And the last few years or so, it's like, yeah, it's another day, it's another day, it's another day. That's how it is really now, my birthday. But, you know, thank you to anybody who's watching who did send me anything, which was really nice. Sort of direct that at my family, because I didn't tell anybody my birthday, so that's it. Again, that's another thing I don't like to tell. Not really of interest not to tell people about it. So I've got it's stuff that has come from Mrs. Bear and my dad. I did have some cash, which is I'm holding on to for my sort of next big sort of trip out anyway. So I'm holding on to that for a little bit. But that was nice to receive. So there's a few quid there I can put towards some stuff when we do a game hunt again. But most of this comes from Mrs. Bear. But I'll show you show the stuff that my dad got me, because my dad always buys very good reviews. My dad always buys me a Switch game. He bought me a Switch 5 years ago, and he now for birthday and Christmas buys me a Switch game. So on the recommendation of my stepmom's niece, who's a big gamer, her and her boyfriend are big gamers. Hello Laura, if you're watching. Laura and Alex, hope you're okay. And they always turn to her if she recommends a game and then my dad buys it me. So those of you who know me may look at this game and go, okay. Not because it's a bad game, it's just you just don't associate me with this sort of game. And I don't associate myself with this sort of game. So it's up to me to play it anyway. This is on the Switch, Monster Hunter Rise. So you probably get Switch games on this channel about 2 or 3 times a year. So there we go, Monster Hunter Rise, which is still sealed, so I haven't got around to having any time to play it yet. Looks like it is the Australian version for some reason. It's got the M on the front there. I'm not sure where it's come from, but yeah. So I've got Monster. You go around hunting 1960s television characters. Yeah, Monster Hunter. I've got the Wii version, Monster Hunter Tribe, but I've never actually played it. So I don't know. But yeah, it's one of these things where I've just got this and I'm going to sit down at some point in the future and I'm actually going to sit down and play it and see how I get on. But if you ever played that, do let me know, because I know last year when I had Shovel Knight for Christmas, or was it the other one? There's two, there's Shovel Knight and something, another night, wasn't it? And I asked people to recommend me for that one, and most people said I would enjoy it because of the sort of game it was. So let me know what you think about that one, because I'd like to give that a go as well. But if you don't watching, Dad, I don't think you are, but thank you for that. I shall put that with my other ones and sit down and play those when I get the chances to. And then the rest of this stuff came from Mrs. Bear, because over the years she sort of shied away from buying me game-related stuff for my birthday, because tended to be sort of all over the place. Now it tends to be categorised in the right place. She's got a better chance of getting me something that isn't going to be a double. She said, yeah, we think about this idea of having in the second game room anyway, there's a pouch on the side to sort of fill in and write down where all the games are. So that's something I sort of need to work through and tie that up a little bit. So actually, in a way, she's done this brilliantly. She's actually got stuff here which I haven't got, which is fantastic. So hopefully she's going to get a little bit more confident and a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? Adventurous, I don't know. But it's got some great stuff here, it really is. First thing she got me, now I've mentioned my good friend, my new good friend Jason at retrogames.co.uk in previous videos, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. But he mentioned on one of his recent videos he'd found some original magazines. He used to print and do his own magazines back in years and years ago. And he'd found some to sell off, and Mrs. Bear picked one up. So if you want to know where issue 22 of Retro Games magazine from summer 2001's gone to, it's here. There we go. He used to do all this. This is the days before desktop publishing and things like that. But so it's actually a Nintendo special. How could a man with no interest in video games create all this? And it's just like a history of Nintendo. So some great bits and pieces in here. There's like a Game and Watch list there as well. If you go back and look at Jason's video, I think it's episode 3 or 4 of his Retro Games show. He sort of talks about these magazines and how he went around producing them all and putting them all together. So I'm very pleased to have one of the original ones, because I never saw these years and years ago. So that's great. So I'm going to keep that, and it's a little thing. It also came with a badge as well, which I know I've dropped on the floor. But yeah, so that's great. So I should look after that, because I do like little interesting areas there. Oh, excuse the top of my head or shoulder. There we go. So where old games live, Retro Games. There we go. Oh, I shall. That'll have pride of place up there now. I think I'll stick it up there next to the dancing mat. I think I'll be able to see it there. Can we see that there? There we go. It is in sight, so we'll stick it up there on the shelf with all the other tat. I'm joking. No, great. So lovely of Mrs. Bear to find that. I wasn't expecting that at all, but that was really, really nice. So I should look after that one, certainly. So there we go. So what else did she get me? Well, you may notice I did a video at the start of the week where I started showing off my Amiga stuff, and there's a very good reason for doing that, because Mrs. Bear bought me one of these. So once we get it up and running and working correctly, we should be able to put this on it. And this is the Amiga 1200 dust cover. There we go. It's black, it's white, and it's obviously does what it says in the tin. I think she said I don't think it's an original one. I don't think it's an original. I think that's very much a redo over. But yes, so a nice dust cover. Again, very important if you leave these things out, that you need to have something like that on there. What else did she get me? Well, while we're on the subject of dust covers, she also got me this. Now this is, I've got to be a bit careful with this, because this is an original. It might not look like it, but it is. And this is an original Commodore 64 one. You can tell there, it is quite, looks like it's been used. So that's going to sit on the one in Commodore corner in the front room in the house where my Commodore 64 lives, without a dust cover, but now it has one. So I can put that on there. So that was a very useful thing, though, because they are quite priced to pick up. The original ones, repos you can find, but the original ones are quite difficult to get hold of anyway. And as you can see there, it does actually say, oh, it's on the floor now. You can see there on the box actually came with the word fragile attached to it. There we go, fragile. So, there we go. What else did she get me? Well, final non-gaming related item. I'm not sure where I'm going to stick this. I'll have to find somewhere for it. It's got to be a place big enough. I've got a giant carry-on film poster for Christmas. And I was wondering what to do with that. My dad said the best thing you can do is leave it in the packaging I gave to you, because you run the risk of reducing the value by putting it in a frame and then sticking it somewhere. Because the only place I could think of sticking it was at the top of the stairs. And those people who've been to our dilapidated house would realise that that's probably the best place for it, because there aren't many places you can stick it. But she bought me one of these, which I've got to find. There we go. Hooray. Some people say that's the best place to leave it. Swines that you are. Yeah, so a 49ers flag. And it must be a flag because it's got a hole in it. There we go. I do actually have a 49ers flag. It's when they came to play at Wembley. I think it was in 2011. And my dad managed to, his friend went and he brought it back. I think he brought it back for me especially. I think he's brought it back, but it was obviously to commemorate the fact they were playing at Wembley. So I've got to find a home for that now, and I'm not sure where it's going to go. It may go into game room too, possibly above the telly. That'd be quite good actually, I think. 3 more things to show you, then you're free to go and do something else. I didn't even know this existed. So Mrs. Bear's picked up here. She didn't pay £7.50 for it, I'm sure. A Commodore computer joystick. Now, over the years, I've sort of laughed hysterically at the rubbish joysticks that Alan Sugar produced, so the Spectrum and the Amstrad. I'm not sure whether this one is any better. So obviously, for those of you who aren't aware what a joystick is, you know, game pads, this is what we used to use beforehand. You know, notice the one fire button that you get, which is there. And for those of you who do know what I'm talking about and have used an Atari 2600 joystick, this is even stiffer than that. I mean, this thing barely bloody moves. I mean, can you see it moving there at all? Just about. And the fire button, it has been tested. Mrs. Bear has done the usual on it and made sure it's in working condition. But yeah, I mean that is a thick old stick and all. Yeah, I'm not sure what can I get on with that. Whether I shall stick to my zip stick or whether I shall. Well, I've got to use it, haven't I? I've got to use it. Mrs. Bear's brought that as a gift. I have to use that. So I shall have to see how I get on. But yeah, but I haven't got one. So it actually now sort of, you know, I can now sort of say I've got a boxed Commodore. I've now got a boxed data cassette. I mean, quite frankly, if you haven't got a boxed data cassette and you're on a Commodore, how does that happen? How can there's data cassettes are very easy to buy, and then one of these. But yeah, I mean it's a strange old stick, as they say. It is, but there we go. It's the Commodore computer joystick. I've never seen one before, so I'm absolutely thrilled to find that. Two things to show you. Oh, Mrs. Bear knocked this one out the park. Some games, 8-bit games, I'm afraid to say. This one I'd completely forgotten about, and I'd seen it maybe about a week previously. You don't see this one come up all that often, as far as I know, anyway. And she did sort of tell me, you've got to stop buying compilations. I said, why? She said, because you bought one from, that's my last trip to Vintage Gamer, I bought, I think, one or two that she nearly bid on or bought from eBay because they were there and she knew I hadn't got them. Actually, no, I don't know. And I'd come back with them and she said, oh, you bought those, have you? Oh, great. She had to sort of frantically cross them off the list and start again. But she got me this, and I must be honest, I can't remember seeing this one out anywhere at all. I do remember it from years ago. And this is from Computer and Video Games. So C&VG, as is better known, was a very popular computer magazine back in the late 80s. Was mid to late 80s and very, very early 90s. I used to read it pretty much every month. It used to be multi-format, and then their Mean Machines magazine, which most people know, which was a console, was an offshoot of that, I think. So, and yeah, seems a very, very, very well-known name anyway. So we got here the C&VG Coin-Op Hits, which is from US Gold, sadly. And you'll know by the quality of the conversions. The Commodore 64, which this is for, it's also not a game brimming with classic coin-op conversions. We've got Outrun, which is a terrible conversion on the Commodore 64. Thunderblade, which I've done on Commodore Corner, which is not great. Road Blasters, which is not great. Spy Hunter, which I don't think is too bad. And Binet Commando, which is by far and away the best game on this compilation by a long distance. But yeah, you don't see that one all that often. I've looked again since, and I've not seen a copy of it crop up since. Obviously showing it besides the tapes, I've got some of the writing has more than the tapes, and no manual sadly, but I'm not worried about that. It's just having that compilation, and I've got a real compilation kick on at the moment. It comes in that nice hard plastic case as well, so thank you very much, my love. That was really good to see there. Commodore 64, that one. Not sure if it came out anything else, possibly, I don't know. May have done. I would have thought it'd be the multi-format at the time. And then on to the final thing I'm going to show you here. Now this is really interesting because Mrs. Bear said, I don't know how you didn't see this because it's been in plain sight in the workshop. She bought this and she left it in the workshop, the front room of the house. And I don't go in there all that often. but she said it was pretty much in plain sight, and I just didn't make any reference to it whatsoever. So, and believe it or not, despite the fact that I have an interest in this system, I don't actually own a boxed one. Although I've got like 2 or 3 consoles, I don't actually own a boxed one, or indeed this particular variant. So, this is quite heavy. And we've got a black Nintendo Wii. There we go, with Sports Resort and Wii Sports included. Fantastic. So, yeah, I've got 3 Wii's. They're all white. Most of them have got the gates. I think one of them got the gate. I don't know. This one comes complete. I would get it out. I'm not going to show you because it's going to take a pain in the ass to get back in. It's got all the Wiimotes. It's got the Wiimote covers. It's got the console. Again, not looking too bad at all for that. It's got a Wii Sports disc in there, which is the dual format one. As you can see, that's what's in the back there. Nunchuck console and the disc. It's very, very heavy for a Wii. It's massively heavy. But yeah, fantastic to have a boxed Wii, and a black one as well. So I should be keeping that for best, as they say. Get it out when the friends come round. What friends? Yeah, I know. But yeah, so I'm really happy to have that. It's going to sit very, very proudly in the collection. As anything does, but you know, when it comes from somebody who you spend all your life with, it's very, very important to have things like that. And yeah, thank you very much again, Mrs. Bear. You are the you are the love of my life. Thank you very much indeed for that. That's great. So there you go. So there's a few pickups and bits and pieces in there, and I hope you've enjoyed that. And yeah, I'm not sure how we've managed to make this video last that long. Power of the retro bear. Anyway, if you've got any comments on any of those sort of things there, if you've played any of those C&VG games and that coin up, if you've got any tips about how to play strip poker, thank you. Or if you played that Monster Hunter game, Monster Hunter Rise, do let me know. I'd love to know a bit more about it. If any of those tape games, which I didn't seem to know an awful lot about, trigger any memories, stick them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, if you could think of any suitable suggestions where my 49ers flag can go, we've ruled out in front of the camera and the bin, do let me know. It'll be great to hear from you. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I've taken up far too much of your time as always, but it's been a pleasure. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye for now.